This is a quick video on how you can fix that clash between your own CSS transform or translate values and the transform translate values that come from Framer Motion when you're animating your elements. All right, so now when we do this, we see this rectangular rounded corner shape on the page. It scrolls with us, but of course it's not sitting in the center. So what we can do, and the reason is that we're saying it should sit 50% from the left here. So that means it's going to take 50% and then it puts the element there. But that's not what we want. We want the center of this element to coincide with the center of the page. So we have to pull it back a little bit. So what we can do is we can use transform translate, and we want to use a negative value. So you can use a minus in front, translate X, and then it should be half. That's going to be half its own size. It's going to be pulled back by half its own size. So now it's perfectly in the center. Right, so all of the normal props of the div still work, but now also some additional ones. And those are going to be the following. So we can say initially, and actually we already get some suggestions here from Copilot. So here we can say the initial position of this thing, this element should sit, well, let's see, negative 100. That means 100 pixels higher. And the opacity initially should be 0. That's going to be the initial position. And then again, I get some suggestions, and this is actually what we want. So I'm going to press tab here. All right, so let's refresh here. And you can see it's already working. We have a really cool intro animation here. Very easy to set up. We don't have to write any CSS ourselves. And it has a little bounce in there, right? That's the default animation that Framer Motion has. We can customize it, but I actually like it. So let's keep it. It's very playful. And what it's basically doing is it's using CSS animations and transitions under the hood, right? So if you already went through my CSS course or you're already familiar with that, this is going to be very easy to pick up. So if you now, of course, the position here isn't correct, and the reason is actually because it's using that transition here. So here we actually manually set the translate here. There's a transform, but here we're sort of overriding that because it's going to create a new transform for that. So here, what we're going to do. This is a bit advanced, and this is where this is an example of where it's really important that you understand the fundamentals. So here you really need to understand CSS animations and transitions. So what Framer is doing is it's going to create a new transform rule. It's going to create a new transform declaration when it does this animation, which will override this, what we wrote here. So instead of doing it ourselves like this, we can just make Framer just take this as well. And so both initially and at the end, it should just be that negative 50%. So we can remove it, what we just had, and just we'll have one transform basically from Framer Motion. All right, so if I save here and now go back, you can see it's positioned in the center and we have a super cool intro animation. Right, and just to prove this to you here in the Elements tab, let me zoom in a little bit. You can see here it's using transform, right? We didn't write this transform. That's coming from Framer Motion here. Right, so translate X, that's what it's doing here. And opacity 1 is also coming from here. Right, so just CSS animations and transitions. This is super easy to pick up once you have mastered CSS itself. So definitely make sure you learn that properly.
By the way, if this was helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. Also, check out my courses on CSS and JavaScript if you want to take those skills to an advanced level. Because in there, we will build some beautiful real-world projects from scratch so you can see how everything fits together and really master CSS or JavaScript. And I will also release other courses soon like React and Node.js. So if you want to be notified, then make sure you are subscribed to the email newsletter. You can find the link in the description. Thanks for watching and I hope to see you soon.